Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. Today we have sort of a first impressions video for you. I've shot this gun a few times, shot it more today than I ever had in the past though, and that is of this CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 pistol SBR. Let's check it out. So this does not belong to me, just in case the ATF is watching. This is a friend of mine, so they have all the proper illegal and unconstitutional paperwork for it. So like I said, this is sort of a first impressions. I have shot this gun before in the past, but not much. And today I put, I don't know, 10 or 12 mags through it. So I have a pretty good idea of what this is all about. Again, this is the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1. And it does have the Strike Industries forend and barrel shroud on it in case it doesn't look like yours. That's why the owner of this upgraded to that. And I think it's a really cool looking upgrade. Now this does have the CZ stock on it. It is a collapsible stock with multiple positions. However, you can put a brace on this that with just the push of this button back here, this will slide off and it is then a braced pistol for you FPC and GOA members that are still being protected by that from the courts. So let's get into what I like about it, and then we'll get into what I don't like about it. So what I like about it, again, I know this isn't CZ, but this barrel shroud and forend from Strike Industries I think is super cool, so I like that. I like the ability to do the slap, which is just cool, right? I mean, who at least in my age group doesn't remember that from every 80s movie out there? Right, has a nice mag well. The reloads are very smooth, very positive, and these Magpul mags that he has lock in very well. I do like the magazine release for the offhand, for this hand, like an AK almost. I don't particularly much care for it with the index finger, but I don't know what exactly CZ had in mind. Like, did they have it in mind to use it like this or like this? I'm not sure, but with my left hand, the mag change very easy. With the right hand, pushing this forward, depending on the position I'm in, is easy as well. Other times, not so much. Now, we have been running some fairly sketchy ammo through this. My friend doesn't make the best decisions and picked up some, what I can only imagine was garage sale ammo. There's some light loads, some hot loads and all that, but it ate everything that we were running through it. I think the ammo was from a company called Zinc Point, which I can't find a single good thing said about Zinc Point ammo out there, so take that for what it is, but it did run everything all right. Speaking of running, once you go to the gym long enough to pull this heavy ass trigger, it actually runs quite well. Shooting it was pleasant. It didn't have horrible recoil, of course, it's being direct blowback 9mm. It didn't have horrible recoil, but I was able to stay on target quite well. So shooting and transitioning with it was super pleasant. So when it comes to the folding stock, I love the folding stock. I love how narrow it is when it is collapsed. It also has a magnet on here that sort of keeps it in place. It takes a little bit of torque to get that to come loose, right? Comes out, locks in real well. Great size for a backpack gun, and I know this is a big mag for that. However, you can use a standard 20 round CZ mag, and this little package will fit in a backpack real well. And I know most of you guys out there are used to little packages, so you should be used to this. Now, shooting with a folded stock, you can see here that the stock does miss the trigger guard completely. It isn't bad to shoot from the hip or from the rib cage. It's not bad to shoot up from here you can get to all the controls very easily and things like that. Now there are two things I'm sort of lukewarm on, and then there's a couple things that I don't like. What I'm sort of lukewarm on is the bolt release. So this wedged lever here is the bolt release, right? So if you are in a slide lock or bolt lock situation, that is the bolt release. I haven't had an issue with it running it today, but if it was a little bit more pronounced, I think I would like it better. It is a downward motion, not an inward motion like an AR. So it is a put your thumb on it and kind of pull down on it, drag your thumb down. So I do wish it had more of a purchase area, just so that with gloves on and things like that, that it was less of a chance of missing that. Haven't had a problem, seems to function well, but I think it could be better. Now the other thing I'm sort of lukewarm on is, so we'll take this off, which works a little bit better with a bullet for me. Right, so that just releases the stock, and you can throw the brace on just by matching up the dovetail, pushing this rear tail button in, and it locks into place. And now it's a pistol with a brace. I like the brace seems fine. It's not adjustable, obviously. However, it also does not magnetize to the side. So there's nothing keeping it from flopping around like that time you accidentally saw your dad getting out of the shower. So another thing I'm sort of lukewarm on is the Ambi Safety. There is an Ambi Safety on this, right? The safety itself sucks massive. The safety itself is very hard to use, very, very stiff. Why it's not in the category of dislike or all the way dislike is because using it on this side to fire is okay, but to put it back on like you would an AR is an act of Congress, right? So this other side, to use your finger, because your finger's not on the trigger anyway, to actuate the safety is nice. So the only nice thing I can say about the Ambi Safety is that it makes it easier to actuate on this side. Otherwise, this part of the safety, for being a righty, and I'm sure it's the same way with lefties, this part of the safety digs into your index finger like you owe it money. Now into things that I don't like about it. What I don't like about it is the grip. This grip is horrendous. There's not a positive thing I have to say about this grip. I suppose if you had big bulky gloves on, this base of the shaft will stop your hand from sliding off, because there is absolutely no texturing on it at all. In fact, any sort of stippling grip texture that is on it is going vertically instead of horizontally. So it does absolutely nothing to keep your hand in place. It's all smooth with the exception of vertical lines. So this base here, if you were sliding down it, I suppose will keep your hand on. Outside of that, I think this grip is an abomination. Again, to the safety selector, where it digs into your hand, and the fact that you have to be an Olympic weightlifter to use it is something I really don't like. Like I said, the only saving grace is that when you use it with your thumb on the left side of it, when you use it with your thumb, you can go like this to put it back on safe very easily. And then the trigger. This is the worst trigger I've ever used in any firearm ever. Mosin triggers are nicer than this. Garand triggers are nicer than this. This trigger makes a Glock trigger, a brand new Glock trigger, not even a broken in one. This trigger makes a brand new Glock trigger feel like a broken in, finely tuned 1911 trigger. Easily the worst trigger I've ever felt in a firearm of this type, and really any type ever. So I left my trigger pull gauge at home. I just went looking for it, but let's ghost this thing. So no take up at all. pull, 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 and it breaks at somewhere around 74 pounds. The reset is forced, feels sort of like it's going to fall apart when it does it, but then the second pull is much nicer. So it's that original pull from here where it's 98 pounds, has the worst break ever, good reset, better second pull, which is probably why shooting it out here on the range, I liked it so much, because the second pull is actually not bad. It's a little spongy, but as far as weight, the second pull after it has reset is not bad at all. It's that first pull that you may just never get it pulled back before your enemy engages you. So that's pretty horrible. Now, the guy who owns this also has a CZ Scorpion rifle, full 16-inch long one, and I'm gonna say something really quick about that. All right, so here's his 16-inch one, and he's got a Timney trigger in it. I think he's done a couple other things to it, upgraded with safety and whatnot, but the Timney trigger, oh, that's a beautiful trigger pull. CZ is so known for the good trigger pulls in their pistols, like their P10 and their Shadows, that abomination of a trigger in that S3 or that Evo 3 S1 is horrible. But there is upgrades to it, like this Timney trigger, which is maybe 3 pounds at best. Real smooth, real short, nice reset and all that. So final thoughts of the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1. Of course, this one being an SBR, something I cannot get without a license, because we have unconstitutional laws in the United States and the ATF sucks. What do I think of it? I used to want a CZ Scorpion. Used to. I do understand there is an aftermarket for these. I do understand there's a lot of things that you can do to this. Triggers, upgrades. Like I said, I really like what he did with the forend here. But for me, it's something that I will probably skip on, just because in its stock configuration, it's so bad. In its stock configuration with that heavy, horrible trigger and the handful of other things like the safety and the mag release that I don't particularly care for. And then of course, I would much prefer to take something like Glock mags rather than these proprietary CZ specific mags. It's too much headache for me. I don't think this is a necessarily bad gun, but it's not for me, and that is my initial review of it. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell and all that good stuff. If you want more videos from me, if you do hit that notification bell, remember to hit all notifications that we can get more. You can also become a member of the channel. You get video previews, other various members only posts. I appreciate everybody out there that supports the channel, and we'll talk to you later.